Hey everyone, it's Rihanna and welcome back to another film review. So today I'm going to be talking about Star Trek Beyond, which is the newest and third film in the rebooted Star Trek film franchise. Now, I'm a huge fan of this rebooted franchise. I had so much fun with Star Trek. Star Trek Into Darkness was such a great film. It had such an emotional pull to me and I was super excited for Star Trek Beyond, but I also went into this film with my cautions, considering the first two films had the same director, the wonderful J.J. Abrams, who exited to direct Star Wars The Force Awakens, and we have the new director in Star Trek Beyond with Justin Lin, who is most known for his directing of some of the Fast and Furious films. But needless to say, I was so excited to see what Justin Lin was going to bring to the table as a director, and what turned out to happen to be a really entertaining, fun Star Trek movie. So in Star Trek Beyond, we follow Captain James Tiberius Kirk as he struggles with his position as captain of the USS Enterprise. He feels that he is not doing such a great job and he can never live up to his father's name. And in Star Trek Beyond, we get to see a little bit more of what the characters are like outside of their positions in the USS Enterprise, and I thought that was a really fun detail. What Star Trek Beyond does really well is expand the Star Trek universe. It goes to different planets and different places, and goes different places as well with its characters. So I am all up for exploring new places in sci-fi films. That is what I love about science fiction the most, when we get to explore unexplored places. This film took quite a while for me to get into, just because it does have a slow start, but when it gets straight back into its action, it hits hard. We follow the crew of the USS Enterprise as they go to the furthest reaches of uncharted space that they've ever been before, following a distress signal, and we encounter a new enemy that threatens their ship, their crew, and the entire existence of the Federation. Now, writing and plot-wise, I feel like Star Trek Beyond has its great points and some of its not so great points. The great points, in my eyes, were definitely the villain, played by Idris Elba. His name was Karl, and to begin with, you don't really understand his motives for doing what he's doing, but towards the end, I think they were really clever about the use of his character and how they would tie it into the plot. I thought that was really clever, and it definitely did shock me. And one of the other really strong points of Star Trek Beyond was the world exploring and the world building, where they go to uncharted space and going to Yorktown and seeing all of the headquarters of the Federation. I thought that was really well done. And some of the not so strong story points come in the decisions they make in this film, whether it be the music or some of the CGI that did not look great and didn't fit the tone of the film, I would say. You can definitely see the difference between J.J. Abrams' Star Treks and this one directed by Justin Lin. There are a few scenes and a few decisions made in this film that I felt were really dumb and didn't really fit in with the rest of the film. I had fun with them, but I just think they could have been written a little bit better. I mean, I'm not Simon Pegg, but those are just my thoughts. Character-wise in this film, there was a lot more development for Spock and for Captain James T. Kirk. I think there was more of an emotional pull in Star Trek Into Darkness than I had to the characters in Star Trek Beyond. I definitely felt an emotional pull towards Chekhov because Anton Yelchin sadly died a month or so ago. It was really hard and sad seeing one of my favourite characters on screen like that, knowing the actor had passed away. But as always, all the cast members do a great job as their character. Captain James T. Kirk, played by Chris Pine, always does such a great job. He is such a great captain, putting everyone else before him, and he will do anything to get his crew back. Zachary Quinto, as always, as Spock, is so into character. I absolutely loved him in this film. He was great. And Karl as Bones is a new favourite. He gets the best lines. And then we have the new character of Jayla, who I thought was really badass. She had some cool powers and some cool gadgets, and as always, the badass Uhura, played by Zoe Saldana. For the most part, the special effects and the CGI in Star Trek Beyond looks really impressive. There are some really large-scale action sequences, destruction sequences that look really great on screen. And there were some kind of minor details that didn't look so great. I feel like in Star Trek Beyond, the pacing is quite patchy because what they do with the characters is they separate them when they're on this uncharted space planet. So we go from character to character, learning what they're doing, so it is kind of slow paced towards the middle. In the beginning, it takes a while to get into. We get the great action scenes. In the middle, it drags a little bit, and towards the end, it picks up a little bit. So it does have some quite major pacing issues. As I said, I didn't really have the emotional pull I had in Star Trek Into Darkness. I just think Benedict Cumberbatch's villain is still the strongest out of the three we've seen so far in this rebooted franchise of films, although Idris Elba's villain was really well done. I think Star Trek Beyond does something different compared to the other two films because they expand the world so much, because they explain a little more about the Star Trek world to the audience, and I think the positives of this film definitely outweigh the negatives. The negatives were only the pacing and some of the really strange writing decisions. The positives were definitely the characters and how well this cast works together, the world building and the universe exploring, and definitely Idris Elba's Karl as a villain. He was really, really clever. And with all of the films in this rebooted franchise, Star Trek Beyond gives you the laughs you want out of a Star Trek film. Simon Pegg is obviously a genius writer and does comedy in this film so well. The way he uses Spock as a Vulcan and how they use the comedy is really well done in this film. Star Trek Beyond has some really great action set pieces and some really great hand-to-hand combat. It is such an entertaining film to watch. Didn't quite have me emotionally, but I had such a great time watching it and will probably watch it again in the future. I had a great time watching Star Trek Beyond. It's not one of my favourites of the year so far, but I am going to be giving this film a win and I will watch it again. So have you guys seen Star Trek Beyond? Let me know what you thought of it down below in the comments, and if you like this review, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I'll be doing lots more TV reviews and movie reviews for you guys very soon, and as always, all my social media links, including my Twitter, Facebook, Instagram and Letterboxd, will be down below in the description. Come follow me. And that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you soon, or as the Vulcans say, live long and prosper.